Okay. Good evening, friends. We meet again. This is Prabhat Vashne. I'm an engineer, MBA from FMS, and I have put in about 4 decades of experience in various power sector utilities like NIDC, National Fertilizer, NTPC, Power Grid, Power Trading Corporation, and Power Sector Skill Council. I've worked in various areas of economy and in various departments, and it has been a technical field for most of the time, and subsequently it was also support service. So welcome to this particular program of ISTD, the diploma course and the diploma contact class. See, earlier we had five. We had the topic I will be dealing around is the presentation skills. And as earlier said also, we'll be discussing because I came to know the people who are very much experienced. So primarily what exactly required is just sharing of thoughts. You must be aware of many of the things. We are just sharing of thoughts in case some person has any question or any query, he is welcome and we can discuss it accordingly. Today, the topic would be designing PowerPoint presentation. See, we started with first was the session planning, which were under presentation skills, how to plan the session. Second was the icebreaker, where we had worked out how to make it more communicative with people who were not responsive, how to break that ice. Then it was communication skills. These all are parts, subsets of this. These all are subsets of presentation skills. And then we have what are how to identify the audio visuals that we'll be requiring. And subsequently was the designing of a session. Now, after keeping into view all these particular issues, we will like to touch upon designing a PowerPoint presentation. After this COVID-19, you know the things are going to change drastically. Physical meeting might reduce drastically and more use of e-media will be there. So this particular media of interacting through Zoom or any other ways, it will become very important for us in times to come. Now, our focus will be only on the presentations. If we have to make presentations, what are the things we should look around, basically? Presentation is no rocket science, but yes, it is very important at the present because a lot of things are required in this, and a lot of, if it is a physical interaction, there's a lot of, you can say, confidence level which is required when people interact with each other. And also when it is in this particular media, then only it's like a monotone or it's like interacting between, it is probably one-way communication. But yes, I have suggested in case something is required, then we can interact also in between. See, when we talk about presentations, there's nothing like good or bad presentation. See, it is all comparatively. See, how it has got a slight edge of one thing or the another. Means it has to be impactful. That's the basic thing. There's nothing like good and bad, but yes, there's always scope for improvement, and that's where I'm going to cover up on this topic. Now, what is the so with this particular topic, we start with this. What is the best design for a PowerPoint presentation? I would like to share some 10 slide tips basically. See what happens. There are different models have come up at present. Different people give different views on this particular topic, how to go ahead with it. But there are certain common points which one has to understand. Very simple, because any presentation will require, you have to ensure that it should be very simple. Simple in the sense that it should be communicative. The audience should be able to absorb that particular thing. We can use slides, or it can be in a horizontal form, it can be on the landscape form. See, and generally we are in the habit of using bullets and all, which has become a passe, and we should try to remove the bullets as far as possible. So presentations which are there, it has some limitations in transitions. We use animations also. We can use high quality graphics, have visual themes, and then it says we should avoid PowerPoint templates. This we will cover subsequently. We can use, and in presentation we can use appropriate charts. We can use color wells, and we can choose the fonts also. Besides this, there are many others. What language we talk around so that it is communicative, and two people can interact on the particular issue. See, when I have to design a PowerPoint presentation, this is more or less aligned. So what are the things generally we see around in this? One is, you don't let the PowerPoint decide how you use the PowerPoint. What does it mean basically? What does it conquer? The PowerPoint has not to decide what exactly it is. It is the audience which is required who have to identify that the PowerPoint is analog to their requirement. So we have to prepare some custom, whatever is to be communicated, it has to be a customized thing. It has to be a customized slide. Then you have to have, there are hundreds of types of templates which are there, which will not give the same impact when you want to communicate further. So it is always better to design your own template, which is more communicative and easy to understand. Then write the text with your audience in mind. This is very important. Basically, we should know who's the audience, and accordingly, slides have to be there. If we see in the management paradigm or pyramid, generally the top management on the top is very less, and the bottom comprises of the worker level. In between is the management. So we have identified whom we are making a presentation, who's going to be our audience, and what sort of material then accordingly we have to add into it. If it is the top management, more histograms, pie charts, and graphs has to be there for them to get a vivid idea about where the company is going, if it's for the company's profile, or it can be in any other areas. If it is middle management, it comprises of some of the text, some of the animations, and other things. And if it is at the lower level, the more figurative it is, the more impactful it is, the more it will be absorbed by people. Then whatsoever, any presentation which is there, it has to be aligned with the objective, with a particular objective. And the objective has to be aligned with the objective of the company. Okay, what exactly you want to communicate. There are certain formats which are required to control your objective designs in order to make it simple. Okay, this is continue with the first one. That keep it simple, limit your words. Now you have to limit your words on your slides. This will subsequently will come about in practical, and we'll show you how it impacts. Use high quality photos and graphics whenever you're trying to put that thing in your discussion. The reason being, it should be very clear. It should not be hazy, so that the communication which you want to communicate is not is communicated in the right earnest. You have to use very accurate and relevant charts and graphs in the presentation, so that because time is one of the main constraints, so you have to ensure that all the information that you want to share with your audience, it should be within that time frame. Thus, it should be very accurate, and very relevant charts should be there, so that in the briefest way you can communicate the maximum information that you want to communicate. Then you should use the fonts which are used. They should be very appropriate, not very designy or very showy, where the person is not able to understand this thing. Color scheme is also very important, because if it is how it mixes around, we will see in subsequent slides that we'll share with you. It should be very clean, simple format that makes a real difference. Also, in order to keep it simple or horizontal or landscape orientation, let us see the bullet point should be minimum. Limited transition. Okay, this all has been more or less covered here in the earlier. See, people have identified certain rules by which you can optimize upon it. As earlier said, there's nothing like good or bad. We have to optimize. So in order to optimize, what they say is there's a 10, 20, 30 rule that is generally being followed. It is a thumb rule. A PowerPoint presentation should have 10 slides, okay? And it should last not more than 20 minutes. Just as the general system is there, the preferred minimum is the slide, maximum data if you can communicate, and it should contain no font smaller than 30 points. When we say 30 points, See, there's a particular distance from which you can read and you can identify, you can see what exactly is being communicated. If the font is very small, it will be difficult for you to see this thing, and you will have to strain your eyes on that thing. If it is very big, then what happens is in the slide there will be hardly a few words, and we won't be able to contain more content in that particular slide. So generally, when people ask around what should be the format, how big it should be, this is not a sacrosanct data which I'm telling you, but it is a guideline. If you follow with this guideline, chances of success are very high. Any presentation, if you're making in a corporate world or in states and all, in India, what happens? We talk about IST. Indian standard time is not there. Indian extendable time. That's the problem basically, which has to be Indian stretchable time to be more appropriate, which doesn't work outside. If in a particular conference or a seminar or any meeting, if a particular time is there, it has to be contained in that particular time only. Hence, it becomes very important to see that within the time frame you should be able to work out. So this thumb rule will help you in the corporate world. Being from the corporate world, I have also utilized some of these techniques. It has helped me, and that's what I intend to share with you. Looking forward. How to get design ideas on PowerPoint? Whenever a PowerPoint is there, you have to ask for ideas by choosing certain designs. How you want to put it and what particular simple way it can be worked out. So what happens is, how do I make my PowerPoint look more professional? One is right before you design. Whenever it is there, it is always better to make a rough draft and make a seriatim what you intend to put it around in particular in your presentation. Then start with a title slide that piques interest. The basic thing is the first slide or the second slide, whenever you put it to various people, it should be catchy. That urge should always be there. What next? What next? What next? That should be the tendency of making powerful presentations when you are making to corporate world, or even manager is making, or it is in the school, college, anywhere it is there. The more interesting it is in the initial stage, you will have more attention of the audience, and it will really help you out. As earlier we had said, it is coming, stick to simple designs, as simple as that. Emphasize 1 point per slide. This is very important. Whenever you are covering one particular head, only that particular points covering that should be in that particular slide. It should not have three messages, because it can confuse the person who is trying to listen to your presentations, basically. Use text sparingly as possible. That is always good, because it is it will be very impactful and it will be very concise. Then practice your verbal presentation. This is also important in the sense that you understand who's the audience to whom you are going to present this thing, and in what time you can say, what should be the dB of your voice, how you should present, what like the language that you speak, what should be the speed by which you should be able to communicate and all. This all, if it is practiced in the advanced stage, it will really help you in identifying the exact time through which between which you can deliver your presentation. At times, what happens when you are making presentation on stage, and also it is always better you can have a support also who is aligned with your particular system, and so that your focus you don't lose your focus, and your focus is purely on your presentation. And the slides can be looked around, how it should be changed and all by any of your colleagues who's along with you. So it becomes more comfortable and more professional. Whenever we plan a presentation, the general system is we have to have three major you can say phases in that particular. The major phases are basically, one is you have to plan. You have to plan in the sense is you have to analyze the situation. What is the situation in which you're working up? Situation wise means, say you can say a class is there. You want to organize that particular in the particular hall. What should be the sitting arrangement? It should be U type, it can be V type, it can be theater type, it can be school type. So all these things have to be very clear. Basically, what is going to be a situation where you are going to do your presentation, and in that you have to define your purpose also. You have to identify the audience and their needs. So when you analyze the situation, these all are the factors which are taken into consideration. You should know what are the supporting materials that you are going to use in the particular thing. What is the main idea that you intend to convey? So when you analyze the situation, these all factors help you in really working out on it. Then subsequently, as you gather information, same thing. The information you have to gather all the information pertaining to that particular topic so that it can help you in delivering in a better mode. Then choose the medium and the channel. Now, what is the medium you intend to use? That also is very important. Like in case you want to, the medium you want to use is overhead projector, or you want it is on a stage, you want to use some electronic media system basically. So initially, all these have to be planned so that at the right moment, the right material is available. And during the discussions, you don't face any problem in between. And there's minimum interference. And all the information which is there, it should be properly organized. Then I think in order to give you a very structured, you can say, format. So the planning is one of the major things where one has to really focus, because generally what happens, we execute, we plan, Indians generally, it has been observed that 20% time they give for planning and 80% time they give for execution. So what happens generally, they are not able to complete the task within the time frame, and there's a time run, there's a cost run. These are the two prices you have to pay for that particular activity. So in this particular, as per the Japanese system, as per the American system, they say 80% of your effort should be the presentation is coming. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I was telling you that main focus has to be on your planning, how you can plan, what all are the issues which are going to be there. And if you pay 80% of your efforts on the planning, success is 99.99% is there, basically. Then comes the second thing is right. When you say right, so you have to be sensitive to what the audience needs. So you have to adapt. So when you adapt to your audience needs, you are sensitive towards this thing. Then accordingly, your presentation has to be composed, keeping them into view. As earlier said, what sort of activities we should go ahead with it. Because in writing, when we write this thing, we have three issues we try to cover up is what is going to be the introduction. Introduction, what you are going to start, what should be the body of that particular presentation, means the content with which you are going to fill up in between, basically, and and what sort of pictures or videos that you would be involving in between to make your issue communicative, and in the end, conclusion, how to conclude that particular activity. Once we write all this, keeping into audience the theme that we have really write in this thingy, what should be the introduction, what should the body, and how to work out on this. Then comes the end is complete. When we say complete method, we have to revise the message. What exactly is the message we are going to deliver? How we are going to present? What are the equipments we are going to use on this particular thing? And also you have to master your delivery. Like how you have to really project it to your audience. Prepare to speak, yes, and overcome the anxiety. That's what I said is in initial stage, one has to come over the anxiety, which everybody passes through at different space of time. The basic thing comes up is the language in which you speak, the speed at which you speak, the volume in which you speak, so that it should be very apt and the clarity should be there so that the other person is able to absorb that particular your views. Slide has been stuck up. Alok, it is stuck up. Like, how to go ahead? Sorry. When we are to now we are going to. I don't know why it's running. Whenever we have to organize a presentation, generally we try to split up into two categories. One is the linear, one is called non-linear. Linear is basically a speech is there or the technical discussions are there. It goes in a particular seriatim. And when it goes in a particular seriatim means point by point you are moving ahead on this particular issue. So that say is going linearly from one point to another. Any speech which is there, any technical discussions which is there, so it goes point by point. We go ahead on that particular thing. Second is non-linear. Non-linear is basically when a presentation is there, you can go front and forth, both basically when the discussions are there. Say any brainstorming session is there. So these issues required for the time and again you want to revert back to the earlier issues. So you can immediately go back and forth on that particular thing. But a linear is something like a movie which is going on. It starts once, it goes in seriatim, one after another, and it becomes difficult to really go back on that particular, any of the slide that you intend to go. This is what we have already covered up. What are the three parts of a presentation? And the three parts are the introduction, body, and the conclusion. We just discussed on this. Now people have, what people have done is different experts have identified different type of rules. So one is that 6x6 rule for a presentation. Some people might be familiar with 6x6. It suggests that you should include no more than 6 words per line and no more than 6 bullet points per slide. So this is there are 2-3 conventions. This is one of the convention is the goal is to keep the slide from being so dense and packed with the information that people don't want to look at it. So these are some of the success stories through which these different models have emerged. In order to ensure that it is not very dense and other things, yes, this particular model can be adopted in your presentation. Or there's also a rule of 7 in a PowerPoint. It says is, or in any electronic slide, it says it should not have more than 7 lines of text and no more than 7 words in each of these lines. So there is nothing like what is right, what is wrong. It depends upon the individuals to how you work out on this. But these are some of the rules which are working out quite popular in this particular thing. There's another 5-5-5 rules. Now, to keep your audience from feeling overwhelmed, you should keep the text on each slide short and to the point. Same messages everywhere, basically. Some experts suggest that using 5-5-5 rule is no more than 5 words per line, 5 lines of text per slide, and 5 text-heavy slides in a particular row. So, whatsoever model you want to adopt, you can adopt. These all are success models, basically. Now, what happens is there are 2 terms which comes into this. One is a template. What is a template? There are some standards, background slides, projections are there, which people generally use this thing, which I was telling you that you should design your own template to make it more catchy. Now, a PowerPoint template, it is a pattern or blueprint of a slide or group of slides that you save as a Cortex file. Once it is prepared, anytime you want to cover it up, say ISTD is there. ISTD wants to have the backup template as ISTD and different things should appear in every slide. So what happens? They identify that particular slide and they put in the Cortex file. So anytime you want to use it, automatically that particular formatted file will be there, and you won't be wasting your time. It can be they are templates, but it varies from companies to companies, and you can say event to event. So primarily, it has to be self-designed. So to meet your purpose, it contains the layout. It also contains colors. You can use fonts, effects, background styles, and even content. See, this is a very long topic, and if I start giving all those examples and all, it will go for hours and hours. That's why I try to condense it up, because your experience also, and some of the things you must have seen. And whenever you do, automatically these issues will come up. There is a particular book which I have referred, and which will help you out also, which I have given in the bibliography, and we will show you at that time, so that you can get more details from that particular thing, in details about the topics that we are covering in this particular slide. You can create your own custom template and store them, reuse them, and share them with others. Second is the theme. These two are the things one has to work with. What is the theme on which you're working? So your theme can display content anywhere you want it to be displayed. It can specify various devices or actions and make the content visible. It can customize in typography and design elements using CSS, computer slide systems, and other design elements like images and videos can be included anywhere in your theme. When you are discussing and some sort of a video is there, you can squeeze that thing in order to make the other understand. Say a company, a marketing person is making a presentation in a conference or in a seminar, and he wants a small slide to be inserted in this to talk about their company. So then he has to provide a theme, and in particular theme, it becomes an integral part of that theme. Also, a lot of queries are there basically. How many slides should be there in a 15-minute presentation? In general, for a 15-minute presentation, we should have 25 slides. That is what people have experimented and tried to focus on this, because it has been seen. There are people who make 2-3 slides and they talk around. What happens? They don't get the attention of the audience, and they are not able to communicate the things they want to communicate to those people, and the concentration of the audience goes haywire. They become bored. Or if it is much more slides, there are people who are giving hundreds of slides. So what happens? Within that particular time frame, you have to move very fast, showing other slides also, because the presenter wants to give the maximum to the audience, but he forgets whether what he intends to communicate, the audience is able to lap it up or not. That is very important. So primarily, if it is less, again, it is not workable. If it is much more, it is not workable. So there has to be optimized system. So optimize, generally what happens, if you keep this thing into mind, it will really help you in devising your presentation very content. Anything between 20-30 would really work out on this in case it is a 15-minute presentation. It also depends upon the topic, what you want to discuss around, whether it is technical, it is non-technical, it's commercial, and accordingly, you can also, these can act as a, you can say, guidelines to help you out in making your presentation. If you really are genuine to make a standard, some sort of a standard that you should be able to work out, so 10 to 20 slides on an average really work out for a 15-minute presentation. See, you can have your own views on this particular thing. I try to collate what exactly is very prominent and predominant in the field, people who are really making use of this particular activity. Now, what differentiates a good presentation from a poor one? It can be on the part of content, what exactly you're feeding around, or it can be on the part of design, how you are giving it a shape, because your speech may be perfect, but the images you shoot can greatly add or distract from your message. So it has to be in sync with what exactly you're speaking and what exactly you are showing. Whether you are using Visage. Visage is one very popular software which is being used in this particular thing PowerPoint, Keynote, or good old PDFs, like we are familiar with this. I'll share 11 beautiful 11 tips which will help you create well-designed presentation slides that effectively get your point across. I have tried to capture certain presentation visuals, and in case somebody has any views, he can raise his hand. We can discuss on particular thing. So whatsoever I have been discussing around, it is no rocket science. Basically, it is a person who has been making presentations or a senior person in there. He will understand what are the things which are required. I just try to optimize on certain issues so that it helps as a thumb rule, as a guideline for them to make their presentation. First, there are two pictures are there. One we say boring presentation, one we say skip the stock template. When we say this, we have already covered earlier. Any template that we intend to use, say ISTD template we are using in this particular seminar, in this particular, you can say, Zoom meeting, it is a specified template which they have identified, and all the content has to be in this particular thing, in this. So when we say skip the stock template, means it has to be very precise what exactly we are, and it should be very crystal clear. On the left side, when we see on the background, it is so hazy and all, when you start looking around over there, your attention, it is not able to catch your attention. When it is not able to catch your attention, obviously your focus will move and you won't be able to concentrate on that particular issue. And once, say if it's in a college you're making or something, and when the attention is not there, then you will start discussing around with your neighbors and other thing, and it will really, it will start creating problems for various people. Now these, when I was talking about Visage, these are the presentations basically. These, when we use slide themes, including in your software presentation details, they are either what happened when we say the boring one, the first one, we have put a red cross over there, and which is more accepted in the world is the tick one basically. They are overused. They become boring and usually pretty ugly. You can use the word ugly. You have to create cleaner presentation by starting with a clean presentation, and it should be built up from that from here on. So now you can see, when you see at both the templates that you look around at this place, you find it is more, the right one is more receptive. That is the green one, which is take this more receptive as compared to the other one. So from my side, you feel you're making a presentation. Okay, whether it works or not, how it looks around. But from the audience side, you have to see also that justice is being done, and that you are able to catch up with this thing, and they are able to absorb that the content that you are making. So it should be crystal clear on this. Okay. When we say don't use more than 6 lines of text, that also we have covered during our narration we were doing earlier. In the first, what happens, so many lines are there. When you start looking towards this particular slide, how do you feel? And when you look towards the right one, which has been ticked up, how do you feel, basically? Are you able to catch up with this on the left side? Suddenly you feel it is overburdened, it is taxing, and you start losing your focus on this. So when you pack too much information into a slide, it will completely undermine its purpose. So what you have to remember is that the audience has to process everything you say while they view the slide. When you are trying to process everything, that when you are presenting your slide, so what happens, you start losing your focus and interest in that particular activity. But if it is on the right side, is clear cut, in a very few words you are able to complete this thing, this gets absorbed. It gets absorbed by the person. So it is always better to ensure that you should use approximately 6 lines of the text. then come ditch the bullet points. Now what happens is this is the general tendency of ours. Whenever we want to add the points, we give it in the form of bullets. Yes, bullets are really important to identify that they are individual points. But when the bullets are there, we forget around so many bullets come over there. It becomes really difficult to retain what you want to convey. And when we see on the right side, we find only 4 points are there basically. When 4 points are there, that are catchy and you can absorb these. These are small tips basically which will help you in making your presentation, PowerPoint presentations, whenever need arises. Now, too many presentations are bullet point crazy. That's what we can say. No one will remember 10 bullet points. If it is 4, you can catch up. If it's much more, 1, 2, 3, you will read around and tend to forget about it. But what will happen if instead of these bullet points, there's compelling slides are there, then obviously they will remember the 10 compelling slides they will be able to remember, because the visualization is more and absorption will be much more on that perspective. Use each slide to build your case and incrementally tell your story. Whatsoever you want to convey, it should be in seriatim, in the form of a story, so that the person thinks, what next? That urge is always there, which keeps in bound to your presentation, basically. And once they are bound over there, your half the battle is won automatically. So whenever a presentation is made, it has, when I say plan, it should be planned in a way so that you build up your case and incrementally you come around one after another. As the person starts thinking around, you start feeding that particular information. So in a seriatim, you are able to work out on this. These days, storytelling system is also becoming very popular, where people are really trying to absorb this particular system, and which is becoming more catchy. See, consider your slide to be an, you can say, outline for what you're trying to say, and try to share one idea per slide. That also I had told you earlier, and again I'm repeating it. Whenever a particular slide is there, please identify one particular point in one particular slide so that the message is maximum absorbed by your audience. These 11 tips which I'm sharing around, if you use this thing, I'm telling you, you will be very comfortable by making any presentation and preparing my presentation and delivering it also. Use sans serif fonts. See, if you really want to make it catchy, it should be something different like Maggie sauce. But how much it has to deviate, that also you have to ensure, how does it look? See, you have to go for legibility over fun. Generally on the left side, what we are using, where the fonts we are using is the general fonts that we use. So it doesn't catch your attention. But when you use the sans serif font, basically, it has been observed, the feedback has been, it is really very good. Very good means when you look into this, you find it's very much, you can say, concentrated. And when it is concentrated, just looking at one particular point, you start getting the message, what exactly it wants to be. So this particular sans serif fonts really is a success story, which if you imply, I guarantee you will find it more receptive from your audience than you can say from the other one that we have shown on the Red Cross. See, while you use any creative font for a slide title, avoid using it for the body text. Again, I'll repeat. See, whenever any creative font you want to realize, you want to use for the slide title, avoid using it for the body text. So the message, the top title obviously gives you some idea, but the content is basically in the body of the letter. So it should be very simple and it should be communicative, which you can really understand and you can focus on this thing. Now, instead of stick to clean traditional typefaces like what we used to use, Helvetics or something. These are different types we used to earlier. If you are using a dark background, Another point which one is the font, and I'm saying is that I like to put forth, if you are using a dark background, make the text body for readability. Generally, what happens if the background is black and you use gray material, gray writing on this thing, it becomes very difficult to work out. It should be contrast. And another one of the best combination for contrast, which I have also personally used, which I'm sharing with you, is you should have a blue background, royal navy blue, and yellow texting on that is should be there. So as per the, you can say the color, all the what they call it, the people who identify what should be the color as per the waves that they emit, they say this is one of the best combinations which can be very catchy. Dark blue and yellow, if you are right on with yellow point on this thing, at a long distance also you can really catch up on this thing, and you can observe on particular, you can observe it, you can say, you can see it very clearly. So once we identify what sort of fonts we use, it should be stylish or it should be simple in the body. Another thing that we have to ensure is the size of the fonts also is very important. You have to ensure that the size of the font is very appropriately selected. On the left side, what is wrong and what is right on the right side, which we have ticked around. You can have your own opinion, but what happens when on the left side, there you fonts of different sizes, one thing, different types, one thing. Now what happens is certain message, why do people make fonts too big or too small? So when the small is there, you start squinting that particular area, what exactly is written over there. So your entire focus goes on the last word only, completely forgetting about what the other message is going to be. But if appropriate, appropriately, appropriate size of the font is being used, it will really be, you can say, you'll find it the entire text to be centered, and it will become, you'll be very comfortable in working out on this. Now, generally, you make your presentations on laptops. That's what I understand. And a much different size and the final presentation screen. Sorry. So there's a much different size that the final presentation on the screen which comes. What you prepare on the laptop and what exactly comes on the screen is very different. So these things, these are time-tested things. If you work on the laptop and you work on this particular sizes, it will really, when projected on a screen, it will be very, your audience will be very comfortable on it. When sizing your fonts, keep in mind that the text should be large enough to be read by the person in the back of the room. So the size of the font is very important, because the person who's on the last sitting at the end, he should be able to see what exactly is written on the slides, and it can be communicated to him also. If he is not able to focus on that particular, and the size of your font is not appropriate, it will become very difficult for him to understand what exactly is being delivered, and he won't be able to work out on this particular. Besides this, now we have seen the size of the font, we have seen style of the font. Now we have to see the this contrast also. Okay, here again. Now you see the contrast. Which one is more appealing to your eye? When you maintain a strong contrast between text and the background, it becomes more convenient, and it becomes more clear for you to see around such type of, you can say, contrasting. On the left side, since it is in a purple color or a blue color, what color you see around, and it is written in the similar color, so it strains your eyes, and instead of absorbing this thing, you are straining your energies to read what exactly is written over there. So in order your message to pop up, when we say contrast, the contention of contrast is whatsoever the thing that you want to highlight, it should pop up. Nobody can, the females are very much aware about these things. Gents are a bit careless on this, but yes, when they are wearing a suit, if the tie goes with the suit, if it pops up, yes, it can identify a different personality of the person. If it gets subdued, obviously the very, you can say, show of the suit will not be there. Ladies are more aware about these things, and they are better masters, I must say. I acknowledge on that. You need a high level. So the same applies in this your presentations also. The contrast, basically, you need a high level of contrast between your text and the background, because the background is there, one can see, but the text is what exactly is the content that you want to share. It should be visible and it should really pop up. Pop up means the moment you see, it should catch your attention, then the background. If your background features, say, has a lot of variations, okay, or portions of your text may not be legible. In that case, a stylish bar color behind the image can bring the legibility back while adding visual interest, as had been shown in the right side, basically. Those bars that we have seen, black bars, and on the top we have written with the white ones, which are appearing, the background you can see, but these bars which are there, it is really making it very look neat, clean, and communicative. Okay, so once we work around that, then comes the use of colors. It has been seen to be like the more colorful you make it, the more accepted it will be. No, that's not the case. We should try to restrict on colors also. And they say the best optimum, as per the graphs that the studies they've done, and the graphs that show that it optimizes if we have maximum of the 5 colors, not more than that. In the left side, when you see why try to create a rainbow, it goes in piecemeals, it goes in quantums. It doesn't give you a complete lineage that it is all connected together. But if your colors are restricted right on the right side, when you see the text, it is given in one color, automatically it catches your eye. When you see the content, body, you see, yes, it is very clear on this thing. And meanwhile, you want to display some pictographically also on the right side, automatically with this contrast, you can identify and segregate between them. And all the three, you can say, sections which have been identified catches your attention and you can work on. So color combination, one is the color combination, and the number of colors that you use has to be restricted. Color combination wise, so I had already shared my thoughts, and if you try, probably you will also like it. When I said it is at the royal blue, yellow on the royal blue really gives a very good this thing, you can say, combination, and the person sitting at a far off distance is also able to visualize that particular. Now, we are using contrasting text colors to draw attention. See, this also you can see whenever a particular text, a narrative is there basically, and you want to focus on this. In exams, we used to, when we are preparing, so in our text, we underline the important points. Why we do the under the points? Once we are able to go through that text, in order to remember, you remember those important points, so that you are able to put forth when you are appearing in the exam and all, and you can remember them easily. So similarly, here in this particular two slides, which I try to compare around, is on the left side, your content is important, but it is easy to miss the point in this particular way. And on the right side, what happens is, this is a simple narrative sentence that we are working on. But on the right side, when we see use contrasting text colors to draw attention. When we write contrasting, we are focusing on contrasting so that this particular word should sink into your mind whenever you are making a presentation. Like any point which you have to highlight, it should be of a different color. So it becomes a contrast. Now, when you see on the lower side, this is given a timber trail or some sort of trolley which is going on in a coal handling plant or in a hilly terrain. On the right side, you find that picture which is on the background. And on the left side, when you identify this particular text, you can see contrasting as also look where your eyes are going. So when you look towards this particular thing, automatically the contrast thing which pops up catches your eye. So this also is very important to catch various, you can say, your audience attention to work out on this particular you can say, point that you have to take into consideration while preparing your presentation. See what happens if your background image features a lot of variation. Portion of your text also may not be legible. In that case, a stylish bar or a color behind the image can bring the legibility back while adding visual interest. Okay, can you see this? The presentation which has been made, which I've already explained this thing, it catches your visual interest. If there's particular contrasting, you identify contrast is made in the presentation that is available in front. Now, font-wise we have covered, style of font we have covered, size of font we have covered, color contrast we have covered, number of colors that we have covered around this thing. What else can we make, should be added to your presentation to make it more receptive and more catchy? Now, we can use images also. See, images also, images on the left side, right side, images are there and it is always welcome. But how many images should be there? That also is very important. For you to really identify. Images really help you in your presentation more than visuals. If you see an image, immediately you can remember that thing. And then you can it becomes more impactful. Your visuals become more impactful. But don't get carried away by too many in one particular slide. On the left side, you see the cat, the dolphin, or whale. I think it is whale, and there's Iceland and others. Now, what happens is when you start looking around, you lose the focus. What exactly you are trying to convey and what area you want to focus. But if on the right image, when you see where the tick is there, you use single image. So what happens is your focus is on the single image, and you can identify the hilly terrain. What exactly the hilly terrain is there? Hilly terrain you are trying to depict on whether it can convey any meaning. But since once image is there, you know this hilly terrain is there, and then you can read the content, what the hilly terrain wants to identify, whether it is the rocky area you want to see, or it's the scenario scene which because this you can say a scenic beauty that they are trying to portray around. So one particular picture becomes more catchy. So first of all, you should use image. That is very important to make a slide more acceptable. But you have to ensure how many images should be there. The minimum images are there, the better it is. You can see between the two, and you can decide for yourself what exactly you feel and how you find these images helpful to you. Here, one thing more is you have to limit your design to a single image with simple or no text. That also can be worked out, and it can convey the message that you want to display. Now, you can use visuals to increase emotional appeal. Can you look into this? 99.8% of California is experiencing severe drought. Now, both slides convey the same meaning, basically, but which is more catchy. If you you see on the left side, you find it is just like any other text which is there. They are showing something different, but they're talking about something different. It's like looking London, talking Honolulu. What exactly means is they want to show something and they're showing it the right, but the message is not being conveyed in right earnest. But when you see on the right side, when you see parched land, 99.8% circled, and it gives an idea. It means it is talking about drought. It is talking drought, and what percentage, what exactly could be the message which is it is conveying. Just seeing the picture, whether somebody it is self-explanatory. Whether somebody has to explain, doesn't have to explain. But once you see this thing, if you can read the text, you understand what exactly it is going to show. It is showing about a drought in California. So when you see the parched land and all, it conveys the meaning. Thus, visuals are very important whenever you really want to make a presentation. The more visuals are there, the more eye-catching will be there, the more you can say it will be acceptable. So in your PowerPoint presentation, these are some of the points which I have shared with you, which will be very helpful to you in your, you can say, presentation, because it can enhance comprehension. It can also help in retention and also elicit a very emotional response that increases the impact. Emotionally, if you are able to work, catch up, it really has the real impact on you. Use powerful visuals to get your point across. This is one thing I'll recommend to all of you. Like in this particular presentation is there, the more visuals, impactful visuals you make around, the more communicative it will be to the, it will become basically. So there we, oh yes, there's one thing. Yeah. Now freeze the transitions. Finally, there are plenty of clever transitions built into this presentation software. You can do many things, but most quality presentation is few any distracting transitions. You have to identify it should not be distracting. Whatsoever transactions are there, basically in this particular software, it should give you a quality presentation, and the presentation should not be in a particular way so that it deviates you from your exact course. No matter what your presentation content is there basically, but you have to make sure that you are always using design to your full advantage. This is the crux basically. We have summarized from the back also. In case whatsoever is the design that you do, it should be to your advantage. In case you are making a presentation in the agriculture sector, if your presentation background comprises of some leaves and all, or some sort of horticulture or something like this, or some green color is there, automatically it will denote that it is on the agriculture area you are trying to depict. So it becomes more communicative. If it is the water resources and you make it in the blue, somewhere splash and all, so water is generally connoted as a blue color. So if the blue color also goes in rhyme and in sync with your presentation, and the moment you see this thing, you understand something to do with the water. But suppose you do for agriculture in blue color, so it doesn't resonate. What you require is a resonate. It should modulate, but it doesn't modulate if I show agriculture in blue color. But if agriculture, the background is, you can say green color, it catches up. If you see heat and the orange color is depicted, the orange color, the notes basically, yes, it is to do with energy, it is to do with heat and all. So such type of presentations in this particular color is also important. And any presentation that you do, you have to ensure that it should rhyme with the discussions that you are having or the presentation you are making, so that it encapsulates in that with the theme that you intend to discuss. So friends, this is okay. So these are some of the rules, thumb rules I have shared with you, which may be of importance. You may find it useful in while working on your presentation subsequently, or you might be having some other points also which you can share subsequently. But this is what I felt should be shared with you. Whenever power presentations are there, these are some of the points. If you really focus on them, take them into account, you'll be very comfortable. So I'm concluding also remark I'm giving, visuals create really interest. Okay, does illustrate and clarify important points, add variety to make your presentation more effective. It should be effective, it should be attractive, it should be interesting. When you say animation you add around or visuals you make around, it becomes more interesting. Like or you can have a short videos also to make it more engaging. It engages and excites your audience in order to enable them to absorb the information being presented. Okay, this is what exactly is the crux of the entire presentation. But one thing I like to share is there's no straight line method that works everywhere. But much depends upon what you present, how you present, and it is basically the intellect of the presenter that is used very judiciously. You have to keep into account the audience to whom you are working and present your, you can say, presentation in that particular context. So friends, I think it is here I conclude, and one of the books, which you will find very informative, from where I have picked up some of these things, and from other texts also from IEEE, you say the text I have picked up certain issues to make it more simpler, so that I can really share my thoughts with you through these particular presentations. This business communications today by this Al Bowie, Thill and Raina will really help you in getting more tips on these presentations. Sub tips, major points I have already covered, and under those particular topics, if you want to go into the nitty gritties, it can give you a lot of material for your, you can say, it can satisfy your urge to probe deeply into particular thing. Rest are the textbook which has been already identified to the students as the post. So friends, thank you for your time. It was really wonderful. In case some query is there, please, you can raise your hands and we can work out on this. And then I'll say stay tuned for more in the next session on the present skill. Yes. So here I conclude. Thanks for your patient hearing. That's what I can say, because I didn't find any hands raising around. But still, anybody has any query or you want to share certain things where I can benefit, you are please welcome, because you all are experienced people, and it will be really helpful for me also to know each other. Any person who raises his hands, my small request is please identify yourself so that we can be in sync with the person who's putting the question. So, Mr. Alok, just see in case somebody is interested with any questions. We are open for any question answer. All what I have thought, I have said, or primarily nothing else through, so that they just said, okay, let it go as such. Anyway, it is on the lighter mode. Thanks, friends, for sparing your time and giving me an opportunity. I'm thankful to ISTD also for sharing our thoughts, and I hope it will make impact on your deliverables in your area of operations and work. Thank you very much.